Let me give you the headline first, Brooke. The Department of Justice now closing this investigation with, quote, insufficient evidence to support federal criminal charges. That coming from a statement released just moments ago. Now, you'll remember that Kendrick Johnson was found dead at his high school in South Georgia, upside down in a rolled gym mat. That was January of 2013. Investigators then said his death was accidental. The family did not believe that. They believed their son was beaten. They had his body exhumed, and pathologists found evidence of blunt force trauma, calling this a homicide. Well, the Department of Justice says that investigators, to establish any federal criminal rights violation, would have had to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that not only that someone killed Kendrick Johnson, but that his killing was motivated by racial animus, and that was a very high threshold. They have not met that threshold, according to their estimation. The Kendrick Johnson's parents, Kenneth and Jacqueline Johnson, are right now meeting with the U.S. Attorney here in Macon, Georgia, the acting U.S. Attorney from Northern Ohio, where this case is being led, also with other officials here to get the news that they were hoping that they would not get at the end of this. Now, what this news release that has just been sent out does not say is definitively how Kendrick Johnson died. In fact, at the end of this statement from Carol Rendon, who's the acting USA in Northern Ohio, she writes, we regret that we are unable to provide them with more definitive answers about Kendrick's tragic death. So no federal criminal charges in this case, but still no answers after more than 3.5 years for Johnson's parents about exactly how he died.
Okay, so y'all just heard that clip right there. And y'all probably wondering who this is on the screen, but I'm going to get to that because this person plays a role in what I'm about to talk about. So imagine your son, your loved one, being dead since 2013, found in the condition that he's in, and all he can come back with is, it was an accident. We saw the pictures of Kendrick Johnson. That was no accident. And those wrestling mats are very tough to roll by themselves. How does one get in there like that? Like this, like I said, this story has more holes in it than Swiss cheese. It's a lot of stuff that they're leaving out. We know that Kendrick Johnson was murdered. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure that out. We know that this kid was murdered back in 2013. What happened to him should not have happened. We saw the pictures. We saw, the pictures that they took when he was in the mat, and the pictures of how his face looked once they got him out, and all the other details in between that I just don't want to go into right now. Then, it was all speculations of who did it, and then why they were not put out there because of the connection of the connections that their father had. And now you fast forward to back in couple years later when they get the case back open, and then only to be pushed back with the same results. Because now, according to what I'm going to read, the case has now been closed yet again. And brings me to this person that you see on your screen. This guy's name is Ashley Polk. He is the Lowndes, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, County Sheriff down in Georgia. His name is Ashley Polk. Now imagine my surprise when I found out this was a guy, because I'm looking for a woman because of that name Ashley. Ashley is not, in my opinion, a unisex name, but apparently, I guess for some it is, but it is what it is. This guy actually had the nerve to come out and say that he deemed this, or he called Kendrick Johnson's death, a quote unquote weird accident. Weird accident is not the choice of words I would have chosen to say or use when it comes to this case, considering all the stuff that we've seen on Kendrick's body when we saw the pictures online all those years ago. Weird accident. No, that doesn't sit well with me. Then he goes on to say that there's nothing to substantiate a homicide and nothing criminal happened. I refuse to believe that. I said, you mean to tell me that in that school that he just wandered off by himself and decided to take his own life in a wrestling mat, or he just climbed into a wrestling mat and got stuck. No, I don't believe that. And all those cameras, because there's cameras in those schools, they could see him walking down the hallway. They even saw him walking into the gymnasium where was the last time they saw him, and then you don't see him anymore. And apparently, allegedly, he wasn't even in the gym where those mats were at, but he wasn't by himself, allegedly. They can say all of this, throw this word salad together all they want, but I truly believe that he was killed. Many of us even compared it to him looking like Emmett Till to an extent. Not as bad, but it was bad enough. And them to say that this was just an accident, no. But it doesn't surprise me, because keep in mind of all these black bodies that get found lynched, and I do mean lynched, like hanging, and they say, oh, it was a suicide. Look at the story with Kawan Charles that I've been following, and trust and believe I'm still keeping up with that and how he was found. And they're dragging their feet with that one, trying to chalk it up to him drowning, when clearly he was with 2 other people, maybe 3, and they're still alive and he's dead. He's found face down in water. Or think about, speaking of water, think about all the other black bodies I've been talking about in the last month or so who were found near or in bodies of water. Jelani Day come to mind, and so many others after him. See, this is what they do when they don't want to investigate, because they know to investigate means that they're going to find something they don't want to be found. They are all in, as far as I'm concerned, they are all in on it. But who I really feel bad for is his family. They've been fighting since 2013, almost 10 years. We're talking about a year, almost a year after Trayvon Martin. We was almost a year after Trayvon Martin, because this happened in January of 2013. Trayvon Martin happened in February of 2012. This was like one of the next biggest high profile situations since then. And, you know, of course, you know, at the time, because Trayvon Martin was still being heavily talked about, his name came up quite a bit when this story occurred. And rightfully so. Not that they were connected, but the thing is, they were both close in age, because I believe Kendrick was 15 and Trayvon Martin was 17. Then, of course, you know, towards the end of the year, you had Jordan Davis, also in Florida, who was the same age as Trayvon Martin, he was 17. Then, of course, fast forward a little bit later, to a little over a year later, you had Mike Brown, who was 18. And then that blew up. And that was shortly after George Zimmerman, unfortunately, was found not guilty. But yeah, I don't believe that this was an accident. And for this sheriff to say it was a weird accident, no, it wasn't a weird accident. It was a murder. And y'all know who did it, or who those who were involved. Because I'm inclined to believe that it was more than one person. I don't believe that was the work of one person. And we still don't even know a motive as to what this could possibly be. So they can say this is an accident all they want, but it's not going to convince me or anyone else with a sound mind who saw those images and saw and really started to piece things together. You cannot convince us that this was a weird accident, as this sheriff put it. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe if you are new. Make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified every time I go live or upload a new video.